So I'm here in central London next to St Paul's Cathedral. I'm going to shoot a quick hyperlapse going over the bridge. The settings I'm going to use are the highest resolution, 5.7K on the Insta360X3, ISO at the lowest, 100. The white balance I'm going to keep at 5500 because it's daylight. Flat color profile with auto shutter speed. And yeah, it's going to be as simple as me pretty much just walking straight down the middle of the bridge, and the camera will do the rest because it's a 360 camera. And as long as I'm not stopping on the bridge at any point, the hyperlapse should be fine in terms of shooting. And then it's just going to be about what I can create in post-production. So let's go and do that. I'm just walking straight, and people are hopefully getting out of my way. That's going to make it a lot easier for me because there's not going to be too many wobbles and jitters. It's just so much quicker than when I used to do photo hyperlapses. Alright, so let's talk about editing this 360 footage. Most people use the Insta360 app to edit, which I also think is great for editing quick shots. However, I think it's actually quite limiting. So if you want to get more precise with the movements, especially with hyperlapses, I recommend editing in Premiere Pro or After Effects. However, I would start off with going into the Insta360 Studio, which you can download for free. What I'll do is I'll select the clip that I want to use. Okay, in the Insta360 Studio app, I will actually export the file, export 360 video, and I'm going to do it in ProRes 422 just so that the file's a little bit easier to work with in Premiere Pro and After Effects. Otherwise it can be quite heavy and quite laggy. So once that's done, go in and fire up Premiere Pro, select the footage you want to work with and drag it in, and then drag that onto your sequence. So once you drag that in, you'll see there's not really much you can do with this. You can't drag it around like you can normally in Insta360 app. So what you actually need to do is go and download this GoPro Reframe plugin, and I'll leave a link down below where you can go and get that, but it's a free plugin. Just go in there, download it, install it. It's really easy and quick to do. And then once you've done that, you'll be able to go into your effects, into the search, and find the GoPro Reframe under GoPro Effects, drag that on, and then once that's dragged on, just go to the effect and decide which resolution you want. So I'm going to go with the UHD 16:9. So once that's done, you should see that you'll be able to do everything that you're allowed to do in the Insta360 app, such as panning, tilting, rotating the camera, sorting out the lens curve in and out, and zooming in and out as well. And you've also got some advanced controls down here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it to get it to this state of actually being able to edit it in Premiere Pro. I'm actually not a big fan of doing this kind of editing in Premiere Pro just because I don't like this layout of how the keyframes are. I prefer it much more in After Effects. So I'm going to right click and replace with After Effects composition. Alright, so I'm going to do an example here for you. So I've got my clip of me just walking forward towards Big Ben, that big giant clock here in central London, and as you can see it's really slow and really boring and nothing much going on. So the first thing I want to do is go down here, right click, time, enable time remapping, and then I want to make this pretty quick and pretty snappy, so maybe something about 12 seconds. Bring that keyframe on the far right all the way into 12, and once that renders out, as you can see, it's going to speed up the clip. Once that's done, I can just drag in this work area end all the way in, right click and trim comp to work area. I'm just going to come down here to like half or third resolution because it will just make sure that it renders much quicker. So what we have now is this sweet little hyperlapse going forward, which was really easy to film and really easy to edit, but it is quite boring at the moment. So what we want to do is play around with the GoPro Reframe. That's the whole point of this tutorial, and it is fun to play around with. So you can start at the beginning, and what you want to do is just select all the pan, tilt, rotate, lens curve, zoom, everything, all the keyframes there, because you don't know which one we're going to mess around with. And let's just do like a simple little rotation, maybe up to about 2 seconds. We can make a rotation, a full rotation. Let's go 1 on there. So that means now it's going to just between the beginning and there, it's just going to do like one full rotation. That's probably too quick. No, it's actually alright, it's not too bad. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, one cool full rotation, but as you can see it ends quite abruptly, and that's because these keyframes are linear. So you just want to select these two rotation keyframes, right click them, keyframe assistant, easy ease. Now you'll see it's a bit smoother when it comes out, but we can make it even more smoother if you want. You can go up here to the graph editor and you can select the second keyframe, bring it in. This essentially is like a velocity speed graph, so it means it's going to go into the movement really quickly into the rotation and then slowly out like this, and you'll notice the difference. If I go really dramatic with it, you'll notice the difference here. You see at the end there it just really smoothly comes out. So after this you can actually create like a few different keyframes moving forward with the rotation in mind, because if you can try and create like a pendulum swinging from side to side, goes from side there and then swings back in the other direction, and then one more here, rotates, goes to the side, back to the other side. And then the top tip is to go into the graph editor and see if you can get cool wavy lines like this when it comes to the graph, which will allow you to get some very cool smooth wavy motions like this, especially when it comes to rotating from side to side. I think it looks really cool. And that's why I like to use After Effects, because it's so much easier, pardon the pun, to actually use these easy ease in and out rather than Premiere Pro. I find it a little bit harder. You can do so many other things. You can do the same thing with panning, tilting up. You can add transitions. You can do keyframing the lens curve to do that whole tiny planet thing, keyframing the zoom in and out. So another reason why I like to use After Effects is just because of the motion blur ability. You can select that on here and also make sure that it's on here in the composition and here. And then when you play this, you'll actually get a little bit of motion blur rather than it just being plain flat and boring. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys, and if you want to see more tutorials on how to make transitions, then check out this playlist over here, and also check out this video I made with the Insta360 X3 in Dubai. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.